to the Best of the Nest, a program produced by the television production students of Armstrong High School that takes a look at things from the students' point of view. I'm Veronica Ritchie for AHS-TV, and today we'll be taking a look at the students of Mrs. Lasher's classes at West Hills Intermediate School and the creative ways in which they are incorporating electricity into projects. Let's take a look.
Hello, and welcome to the Best of the Nest, a weekly program produced by the television production students of Armstrong High School. This week we will be discussing the use of electricity and technology in the classrooms. In particular, the students of Miss Lasher's 6th grade class at West Hills Intermediate School, the group of bright students had been constructing haunted houses with electrical wiring and circuit boards, as well as working with programmed hummingbirds to design LED lighting and movable parts to their houses. So let's jump right in and take a look at the footage for the interviewed kids discussing their hands-on learning activity.
So what's your project?
We're doing a hummingbird.
Okay. So what's it? It's hooked up to this computer?
Yeah, it's hooked up to this computer. Like, I hooked it up to 1000 for the brightness, and it's that bright.
And you can like adjust the brightness and colors and stuff.
You can make it flash.
Well, you can't.
Oh, really?
You can't like change the color with these ones.
Yeah, you can.
You can with this
But
one
with
now.
these ones.
Yeah.
These are the LEDs. Like the color that it is.
Yeah.
It
It's
it can only be this color
Okay.
because this is just an like an only LED.
It's in the wire.
While this one has like multiple different colors. You can change it.
What's its purpose? What's it meant to do?
You can do fans and stuff with it.
Fans.
Yeah,
you
and
can
then
do
motors
fans.
and
So-
sensors.
So this
Oh,
one,
wow.
the blue is the sensors. These are the vibrations, and these are the motors. These
Okay.
have this like for the 4, like they only have 2s.
Mhm.
Like it says tricolor, and then these are the LEDs. And then you have to like for this one, I didn't really mean to plug this one. I didn't mean to hook up this, but you have to have this to do the motors.
Yeah.
But for the USB, you can do these for all of them, except this one. Well, you also need this for this one, but
Yeah. And can't you make sound with it too?
Yeah.
yeah, you can make sound.
Oh, so
You can do sound, motion
That's the
activated.
sensors. Here's the motions, the sound, the looks. For the looks, for like the colors, you need, like if you're doing a tri-LED like these, then you need to pick up the tri-LED, and then do 3 of these, and then 3 of them.
You
If
gotta
you're
make a
doing-
different code for every single one of the lights, basically.
So for the quickness of this,
Yeah.
for these things, you have like where it says hummingbird tri-LED, where it says 100 right here.
Yeah.
You like I'll put it in for 90.
Then that one.
And then it changes. It like does a
Oh.
little bit more speed. I'll put 1000.
No.
And then it does quicker.
Was this hard to do?
Not really.
Not really for the colors, but for the motor, it's a little more complicated and a little more like harder to do because you have to like connect. The sound is a different story because we tried to do the sound and it didn't work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
I don't think we had the right coding for it.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
What all goes on in the haunted house?
In here we have it open and we put the hummingbird in there, which is programmed there's light blinking in here, and then we have this moving. You have it like this, and then we put it on here.
Ava Joy, and Lydia Weaver. To the intermediate gym. Carly Beers, Kendall Buzzard,
We use the hummingbird to
and
program the
Elizabeth
lights for the
Justice,
colors.
and Brittany
Yeah.
Palmer.
Alan came up with the name, and then we wanted like 3 stories, and we wanted the last one to be like
Isabella
bigger,
Cumberland to
so
the
like
office for dismissal,
we
please.
figured this and this out like while we were working on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what all does this do?
So in these two, I'll let Abby explain that because we had like circuits for it and she did most of the circuit work.
We had a series circuit in this floor, and then a parallel circuit in this floor.
Oh wow.
And then this one's with the hummingbird.
Part of our grade was we had to have a series of parallel circuits, so
Yeah.
we decided to do that. With the water wheel, the
Yeah.
corners sometimes like got caught on that, and like if the motor, because we like cut a hole in here and put the motor in there to attach to it, and it's not exactly. It has to be like in the right place for like this to go straight without.
Okay.
We did originally have a different design for it, and we just kind of made it up as we went.
Oh,
Well, that's cool though.
you got graded on this? What grade did you get?
We got a 70 out of the 70. We got the full grade.
That's good. Yeah, how long did it take you guys to do the whole thing?
I think it was like 2 weeks we had to do the entire thing.
Is this for science, or what exactly is this?
Science, because we had a unit and it was on like electricity, so this kind of tied in with it.
What was the most exciting part about this?
Probably getting it done. Because it was kind of cool to see like how we weren't really sure in the beginning, and then at the end we kind of had it all together, and it was kind of exciting to see the entire thing come together.
Oh, I can imagine, honestly. Were there other like buildings too, like other ones that other people made?
I think there were like groups of like 4, and so it was like a couple, like 2 different classes, like 3 different classes did it, including ours. So, and we all went down to the Williams Group Room, and a bunch of other classes voted for them.
Yeah.
So,
What were you supposed to learn by doing this project?
we kind of learned how to, first of all, we learned how to use the hummingbird, and we learned like the programming and everything.
Yeah.
And then we kind of learned about like the circuits and how you could do like, and even for like the hummingbird, you could like do like sound activate, you could do like make it make sounds, there was different motors you could use. So
You did a great job, you and your group.
The question is, if you were allowed to, would you do it again?
Oh yeah.
probably, as long as it was something different, like a theme,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it. How did you come up with such a hands-on learning activity for your students to learn about the transformation of energy into light and sound?
Well, first of all, I just moved to 6th grade this year, or last year, and I got into their curriculum, and their curriculum had a unit on energy, which is changing electricity into light, sound, heat, motion, and I love this kind of thing, and I could do a lot of hands-on. I have enough time with my classrooms to do that, so I did a little research on my own, and then I incorporated my own ideas into a project for these kids, because I think I get as excited about it as they do, and I wanted them to learn how to wire. So we did the stripping, and they had to do the circuits and the parallel circuits and the switches and power source. So I had them do that, and they had to have that wired in their houses.
Yeah, it's really
And
cool.
then this year we had access to from ABC Create. Got to give them credit for doing it, which is awesome. They let us borrow the computer software, which is the hummingbirds, the bird brains, and this made us. I was so excited that they can do much more. We had little motors that would just kept spinning last year and things, and then I got controllers to slow it down. But this year, it was, they got really into it, much more advanced work. They even one designed a car that would go and then come back. A lot of things were going back and forth. It was really, and they can, being the first time, and I let the kids do it their own. That's one thing I really want to see them be creative and expand, their ideas. It's not just what I want. It's what do you think you can do with this, and how you go about doing it. And I thought did a fabulous job. But we have a vote too. It's like an open house for the whole school, and then they voted, and that's
I forgot to ask the kids, how did that go? Did it go pretty good?
Yeah, it went really well, actually. We had a lot of big turnout coming in, and we had the lights off, and then you could see the flickering, and it looked more haunted. We had decorations up, but it was very nice. I was real pleased that the parents came in, and the kids got to show off, their hard work that they did. They put a lot of time in it. It gives them a little taste of, this is what it could be like, but much more in depth. So my daughter's in engineering too at Gannon, and that's what I always say, like, what do you think I should do here? And so she helps me, even gives me little tips here and there. But it does. It gives them a taste. So when they get into high school, it's hard to know what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
So it challenges them, and they teach me. Like I knew the basics, and I told the kids, I said, you're going to have to show me. There's more things here you can do. I don't know about. We're learning together. So they showed me a lot of things too, and some picked up, and then they're showing everybody else. So it was a fun project. It's hectic. You see everything's everywhere, but it was a very good group. They always are well behaved, and they get their work done.
Where did you get all of your materials for the project?
Well, ABC Create was the one that we could borrow the materials, the hummingbirds, but the other one was the Armstrong School District had a STEM grant. Plus I bought my own little things that I would see and I want to try. And then cardboard boxes and hot glue. A lot of parents even donated items, which was really nice. So it was just a combination of where we got all the materials and people were willing to help out. So
was this a group project, or were each of your students participating individually?
It was group projects. There were about 4 to a group, and they had design from scratch. There were I had a rubric that they had to have the series and a parallel circuit. There was certain certifications that had to be there. But they were allowed to be creative and engineer what they want and design what they wanted.
Right.
As long as they covered what they needed to have. So they're fun too. I even had fun,
it's really fun.
It is to see what I didn't know you could change the color. I thought the colors had to stay, but they even looked up, and because they all have Chromebooks, they looked up and researched, there's a color code, so the numbers, and so you can get a different color, and then it can flicker. So that was really neat too. Just they did that on their own.
Did the students use this activity as a culminating activity following a science lesson?
It did. A unit. It was the energy unit, and it was dealing with the electricity. There were certain lessons we had to cover, and this was like I said, the rubric that they had to follow tied in every little lesson that they taught. So it was a review as well as they had to actually do it now, not just know a knowledge of it. They had to present it as well, and they also yes, and they I'm trying to get them to be a good public speaker. I know you guys, but to show good eye contact and to show, off the work, not turning their back and things like that. So we worked on things like that. But overall, it was it was all accumulated, and then they got us total points on that.
Well, I'd like to thank you for your time.
You're quite welcome, and thank you guys for coming in. They were so excited.
Wow, would you look at that? Now that is something amazing. Luckily for us, one of our fellow TV production students was able to witness this brilliance right before their eyes. Now we're here with Austin Kupka to ask him a few questions about his time in Miss Lash's classroom. How's it going, Austin?
Oh, it's going great.
Oh,
you?
Good. I'm pretty good today.
That's great to hear.
All right, so tell me how it was interesting to see these 6th graders in Miss Lasher's classroom working with such an advanced technology to learn about their electricity.
Well, I just found it fascinating, just the different things they made. Like one person made like this haunted house, and I'm trying to think. It was like all it was all ruined looking, and it looked really interesting. Then somebody was going into detail about how they made this little like spinning wheel, like how to make it move with the program, and I was like, oh, that's cool, like really interesting. But I just liked the fact that they were so like involved with it. Like most kids, would be kind of like or like whatever, but those kids, they were really just honestly invested in what they did, and honestly I was kind of jealous in a sense, because I honestly wish we did something like that before.
All right, so it was a pretty good group of kids.
Mm-hmm.
All right, after seeing their projects and interviewing them, how do you think they felt about what they've learned?
Well, I think what the way they felt was very like accomplished in a way, and just like they learned a lot, I felt. But overall, I think they enjoyed it so far. And speaking with the teacher, she also said the same thing. Everybody else was really involved in it, enjoyed it, different things. And I believe she said she was thinking about doing more of those types of activities in the future.
Great. Do you feel they gained more learning from Ms. Lasher's hands-on activity in comparison to a traditional way of teaching?
I actually do believe they did, actually. Just because they were more just involved with it, and they weren't just like, I don't know, just, doing a sheet or just watching some video. They were hands-on with it and everything, and just, as I said, like how the kids were expressing it, they seemed like they learned a lot. And they really, honestly, it was kind of funny. They were just going in depth about certain things, and here's me just like, what? Huh? Like, what? I don't know what that means. I don't know what this is, and different things. But yeah, I think it helped a lot.
Good. How do you think these teachings benefited the kids with different learning styles?
I feel that it helped, like, the kids in certain ways, just like, in case, like, for example, somebody was more of a listener, kind of. Different things that helped there. I honestly, I just think it helped each person, just because it's a hands-on thing.
So
overall.
the hands-on was a really
big component of the whole thing. I think it helped a lot, but yeah.
Okay. Which way of learning do you feel you would rather do, and why?
I would rather do the hands-on, just interesting activities such as that, just because, like, when I was in elementary school, I did not like doing my work at all. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the only one, but it was just always so boring, and I didn't feel like I was learning as much or was interesting. But seeing that what the kids did there, it kind of was very interesting just for me. Even though I'm in high school, I still thought it was interesting, and I was, like I said, about it. I think it helps the kids like get exposed to, like, say, like programming and different things. I think it just helps just broaden their kind of knowledge of things, and at an earlier age too.
Good. Should more teachers in the district teach with hands-on activities such as Ms. Lasher's?
I believe they should, honestly. Just the interest of certain things, and just have those kids learn more. I think it would help, honestly.
Great. Is it a good idea to teach the youth about programming?
I believe so, seeing as how the world is now, just because it's all going into like more technology focused and different things, and I think it would help for a lot of kids to just be exposed to that in case they need to do anything with programming or so forth.
Do you use programming a lot, like in your high school life?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all, sadly. Wish I did, but no, maybe in the future.
It's just a good topic for the kids to get into, you think?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you wish you would have learned how to program when you were younger?
Yes, I do, honestly. I feel like if I learned how to program, I wouldn't be as clueless about certain things, like if certain people talking about something in programming. But overall, I'd just be more aware of how to do certain things. I think I would be able to, I don't know, just have more variety overall in different things.
Okay. What advantages do you think can come from this?
Advantages? I feel some advantages would be more interest in like programming, for one. I feel like there would be more kids in the course as well, like in high school. And honestly, I think it would just help overall, honestly.
Does learning young help blend kids into rapidly driven world embraced with technology?
I believe so, just because younger kids are more interested in things, and they're easily able to be impressed, which is a good thing, because like the course that Mrs. Slasher did and different things, those kids were having fun and different things. So overall, those kids are going to be like, oh, maybe I should do that in high school or just anywhere. Honestly, I think it just helps to get those kids more exposed to it.
So you think they'll have a better interest in it
Yes.
than others?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do you think students learn about much more than what you had when you were young?
Yeah, honestly, the couple of times I've heard from certain kids, I think they have more opportunities than I did when I was in school, which is a good thing, honestly.
Why do you think that? Like, why do you think that they learn more and have those more opportunities?
I think because it seems like now they're more like the teaching seems a little more involved with the kids, like younger kids, trying to like impress them, different things, or have them learn more things that to be prepared for in like high school or just what they want to do in their lives. But they honestly, like at Lenape, they have the STEAM workshop, which is just like a bunch of science things and just different like programming things. But it's just like, it's like a fun thing for the kids to do and just to get interested in. And just like what Miss Slasher did, like that's just exposing the kids to the programming. And as I said, just getting very interested into it.
Okay, good. What do you remember most after talking with Ms. Slasher and her students?
Honestly, I mainly remember just how interested and excited the kids were. That's the main thing I remember.
That's what impacted you most?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly.
All right. Thank you, Austin.
We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of AHS-TV's Best of the Net.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trod in black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Welcome back. I'm Veronica Ritchie for AHS-TV. From time to time, we'll be sharing some of the better student-produced projects by our very own right here at the Best of the Nest, like right now. Students enrolled television broadcasting, and video production produce news packages relevant to AHS as class projects. This past fall, our own Courtney Beers and Emily Campbell took a look at boys versus girls varsity sports.
Good morning. I'm Emily Campbell, and you're watching Go Go Girl News. Now to Courtney in the hallway.
Do you play sports?
Yeah, I happen to play on the girls' soccer team here.
What's your team record?
4-11.
Do you think that the girls and boys sports are treated equally?
Absolutely not.
Why do you think that?
Well, first of all, our football team is praised like they're the almighty gods from the school, and that's not the case.
Why is it not the case?
Well, if you would look at the school records, we are the only team on that football field that has a section win, and our beloved football team has 0.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
What sports do you coach?
Well, I am the assistant boys and girls track coach, as well as an assistant offensive line coach for football.
How's the football team doing this year?
Not as good as we wanted. Some injuries have hit, and it's been a struggle at times.
Other than football, what other sports at the school are good?
Well, I like to think of all the sports as being good, but the sports teams that have had the most success, our bowling team's been really good. Our rifle team looks like it was showing some promise last year. Boys and girls track just missed the playoffs last season. So, but deep down, I think all of our sports teams have some different aspects of being good.
Do you think boys sports teams get better treatment than the girls sports teams at school?
In America in general, male sports are paid more attention to than female sports. As far as getting preferential treatment, I know it's a goal of ours as an administration to never let that happen. We try to treat all of our sports teams as equally as we can. Like I said, some just seem like they get more attention because they're the more popular sports. Like I said, that's not just here. That's kind of an epidemic everywhere.
The epidemic of inequality in school sports between girls and boys have swept over our school for years. It is a theory that boys' sports are more popular and watched more by locals, even if they don't perform as well as some girls' sports. Our football brings in a large crowd every week. Their record is 0-14, but they are still praised and liked by everyone. The girls' volleyball team attracts a crowd, but not as big as football, even though they are in playoffs and have a team record of 11-6. The girls' soccer team gets a crowd of maybe 40 and is the only team that plays in our stadium that has a section win. Boys' sports may bring in more money, but are losing every game.
Well, that's our show for this week. Best of the Nest is a production of the students enrolled in television production courses at Armstrong High School. Join us again next time for a look at some of the unique things happening in and around Armstrong High School from the students' points of view. Until then, from our nest to yours, have a great week.